Welcome to the Laura Creates Courses weekly video. I'm Laura Coulter, and I'm here to share with you insights and stories to help you design and develop your own effective online course. Each episode includes something for you to do and a way to interact with a community of people just like you. This is episode 1, where we talk about setting course goals, objectives, and outcomes.
Today we're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about course goals, not personal goals. But first I want to start by talking about a framework that most of us know. You've probably gone through K through 12 and you've taken an English class somewhere. So we're going to use this as an example. An English class, or an ELA, English Language Arts, has a very broad goal. Teach the students reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So there's 4 major goals. That's a lot. So you have to break it down into smaller objectives that work your way toward the goal. So you could have multiple reading objectives that all go towards that larger goal. You can have multiple writing objectives, multiple listening objectives, and multiple speaking objectives. All of those move you towards the bigger goal, but they're also still pretty big. Reading objectives can be pretty broad and cover a big topic. So what you do there is you break that down even further into what we call, in education, we call it indicators of learning, but it's essentially the outcome. By the time the student finishes this part of the lesson, they will know how to blank. So it's a very specific. They will know how to find author's tone. They will know how to write incomplete sentences. See how they're very specific. So it starts with a big goal, then it breaks it down into mid-level objectives, and each objective has a bunch of little outcomes that get you to meet the objective. All right, so you understand how that works in the K-12 framework. So let's step that over into creating an online course for adults. If you are going to create a course, then you have a course goal. So your goal, you want to create a course maybe to teach someone how to start their first backyard vegetable garden. And you have decided that's your goal. You're going to teach them that. But they have something else slightly in mind. So this is where you hear the word transformation a lot. People ask, what is the transformation that you're going to want your learners to achieve by taking your course? Well, say your learner wants to learn how to grow their own food so their family can eat healthier. So you've transformed them from someone who can't grow food to someone who can grow food. So that's the transformation. Your goal is to take someone from not a food grower to a food grower. So you see how that's a big overarching goal. So then we break that down a little bit. When you start your garden, you have to plan the garden. You have to prepare it and plant it. You have to tend your garden. And then you're going to have to harvest your garden. So those are 4 major things that you probably need to walk people through. But each one of those is still broad. So you've got your goal of making a veggie gardener, and you've got 4 objectives. Well, guess what? These objectives are your course modules. This is what you're going to break your course up into, maybe 4 areas: planning, preparation and planting, tending, and harvesting. You have objectives for each of those modules. How much further can you break this down to help them get to that objective?
Do you want a way to choose effective learning activities at your fingertips? Download my free ebook, Course Creation Made Easy, 25 Activities to Engage Your Online Learner, at lauracreatescourses.com. It's designed to help you choose the right learning activity to meet your goal. That's lauracreatescourses.com.
We need every specific step now. So for planning. They probably need to know what zone they're in. They probably need to know what kind of soil composition is best and how to find out what theirs is and how to fix it. They probably need to know different types of plants that companion plant well. So you've got a bunch of little things that can fit under the plan umbrella, and those are outcomes. By the time you're done with this lesson, you need to know how to know your soil composition, how to amend your soil composition, how to choose the right plants to plant. So those are all things the outcomes that you want your learner to have. Once you know those outcomes, the course just about writes itself. This is what people call the outline of your course. Once you've broken it down into your modules and you've decided what exactly they need to know in each module to successfully be able to plan or plant or tend or harvest, if you put every step in there, you've got your whole lesson, your whole course outlined. That makes the actual course creation a million times easier. Because it's really important for you to know where you're going as a course creator. So having a plan like this helps tremendously, and planning does take a long time. Designing does and can take a long time, days, just to kind of really flesh things out. But once it's done, production and putting things together goes so much easier because you've got every detail planned. You just need to follow your plan. So, looking back at what we've gone over, so we've got the larger overarching goal, which is the transformation that your learner is going to have. Then you broke it down into objectives, major objectives that they need to get to that goal, and those are your course modules. And then inside each course module, each objective, you have decided what outcomes the learners need to have in order to be successful. So in order for them to really know how to plan a garden, they need to be able to do this, 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 and this. Okay, so I'm not sure what this is. I don't garden, actually. I wish I did. In order for them to know that, you have to list what they need to do. And then now you have your lessons. Each one of these outcomes is at least one lesson, if not two, depending on how big of a project it is or how big of an outcome it is. So we've kind of gone over the big picture. I've got an assignment for you. Not really an assignment, just something for you to try. I want you to apply what we've just been talking about. So if you have a course idea, or if you're in the middle of designing a course, or maybe you're in the middle of revamping an older course you already have, I want you to take pen to paper. I want you to write down your course goal and then write down your major objectives. What can you break that goal down into? What categories does it have? What pieces or steps can it be broken into? Break it down into 4 or 5, maybe 6 pieces that all lead towards achieving that goal. And then come back and give specific things within each of those modules, within each of those objectives. So write your outcomes like this. The student can, or the learner can, amend their test their soil, amend their soil, choose plants for companion planting. Very specific things that the learner can do. And by the time they're done with your module. So you write it in the terms of what they're able to do by the time you're done, and then move on to the next one and give everything that they're going to be able to do by the time they finish this, and move on to the next one. And then you're going to have all of your course objectives and outcomes laid out. Next, I want you to go to the comments in this video. So if you're listening to this on podcast, I'm going to put a link back to the video so that you can participate too. Let me know how it went in the comments. I'd really like to know if there was anything that stumped you, or if there's some questions you still have, I'll do my best to answer all the questions I can. And if you have some experience, you can answer questions in the comments as well.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please let me know by giving it a rating and sharing a screenshot on Instagram. Be sure to tag @LauraCreatesCourses.
Where's my coffee?